You will need both Illustrator, your Illustrator file, and your Photoshop file open for this part of the project. Our Photoshop file should be like this right now, where you have your postcard background with the layer mask on, and your texture superimposed over top of it, where we changed the layer style to multiply. In Illustrator, everything's on one layer, so this first step here should be pretty easy. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the selection tool, once again, V is the hotkey up here in the top left, and outside of the canvas itself, in my opinion, is where you should start for this click and drag. You're going to click, hold, and drag. I want you to select everything that you have in the canvas. It should come up with a binding box like this after you have it selected. We're then going to go ahead and copy it. So you could either do Command C, or if you want to physically click, it is Edit and then Copy. Now, something really nice about a lot of Adobe programs is they correspond or communicate really well with each other. So what you can then do is go back into Photoshop after you have it copied, and we can literally just straight up paste it in here. Right now what you're seeing is this little cancel mark. That just means I can't draw on this layer. That's something else that we can go over later in Photoshop. But the image is what they call a smart image. You can see this little icon right here. It preserves a higher quality of the image, but it won't let you kind of like draw on it or edit it. There are ways to get it removed if you want it removed, but right now we don't really need to draw on this. That's just why you're seeing that icon. You didn't do anything wrong. So let's go ahead and paste. You could either do Command V or you could do Edit Paste. There's no need to do any of the special pastes at the moment. When you do paste, you should see this option because we are pasting from Illustrator. I think it's best to paste this probably just as pixels rather than a smart object. We will want to do editing to this. So go ahead and hit OK. And you should see it come in just like this. Before you go ahead and deselect this, if it's not centered or not exactly to your liking, you can go ahead and move it around. I like it in the center like this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the Enter or Return key on my keyboard, and you should see it should snap and increase the quality, fully render the quality. Now, the color matching might not be exactly to your liking, and it's pretty easy to get a little bit of a tweak on this. I went and selected the Move tool just because I didn't want my brush circle possibly interfering with anything. That's just why you're seeing this box, because I have the Show Transform controls on. So a quick little fix for this, and this is nice for all image editing, is when you have the layer selected, right now we're just going to leave it as layer 1 for right now, is go to the very top of your screen where you see Image, and then go to Adjustments. Under Adjustments, you're going to be looking for one called Match Color. I always forget where that is. There it is, towards the bottom. What this does is it will kind of like simulate or pay attention to the other colors in your document. So when you click this, you might get, it should adjust a little bit. Now, this is where you have more control over it. When this window pops up, you're going to see some changes here that we make, in my opinion. Let's start down here where it says Source, None. Right now, probably no changes or really subtle changes were made. Under this, just choose your file type, whatever you have it named. Hopefully you have it named first name, last name, postcard.psd. This will then say, oh, okay, I see. Like you want me to take into consideration this file. Layer 1 is the layer that it already is, so it won't have that many changes or really any changes. You could change it to the postcard texture just by itself or the postcard background. I like trying this one first. But if that's like, whoa, like a little too shocking, you can go with merged. And merged, in my opinion, gives you the best result. It is still, it really desaturated it, so we're going to change that in a little bit here. But under layer, merged, in my opinion, is where to go. All right, luminance. I think if you lower the luminance down to like about 10, I think that's where you're going to be happy. That's where you get a little bit of that saturation back. You could play around with it yourself, though. Don't worry, it does not have to be exactly 10. If you like it on the desaturated end, you could go 20. Up to you on how retro you want the postcard to look. I'm going to go 12. So I would recommend anywhere between 10 and 30. Seems to be pretty good. The other nice one is fade. I think fade at about 40 is pretty solid. But again, if you want to keep with that desaturated look, you could go anywhere, just about anywhere. I'm gonna go 20. So recommendations are anywhere between 0 and 40. In all honesty, I think when you go above 40, A, it doesn't make that big of a difference, and B, it darkens the colors a little bit too much. So 26. So again, let's just go over these settings one last time. Source has to be your .psd file. Layer merge definitely will work the best for you. I'd be shocked if it doesn't. Luminance, 10 to 20, I think, is a good range. Color intensity, please leave that exactly at 100 as a standard. And then fade, you can try to make it whatever you think fits best. 20 to 40 probably will be good. After you have all those settings, click OK. All right, not too much more to do, but this part is going to be a repeated step coming up. So first things first, let's rename this layer because of layer organization. I think that's smart to do. Double click on where it says layer 1, and I want you to just literally call this name. That way, I know it would be better for me to call it Hyrule in full, but I think just so we all have the same thing, we'll just leave it as name. While you have this layer selected, what I want you to do, here are our repeating steps. We're going to be using a tool called the Magic Wand. I'm going to show you where it is over here. It's the fourth tool down. Object selection might come up by default, so click and hold on it, and I want you to locate Magic Wand tool right here. After you have done this and you have it as the primary of these three, W is its hotkey if you want to use a hotkey. Magic Wand, what it does, let me show you. I'm going to go ahead onto the letter H right here, and I'm going to click on it. Once I click on the letter H, you're going to see that it selects, as long as I've clicked in the black or darker part of the H, it'll select just that section from that layer. Some other settings that you might want to double check with me while you have the Magic Wand tool selected is anti-alias up here and contiguous. Make sure you don't have sample all layers. So I just have these two checked. If something went wrong, double check that, and then you can select your H. If you need to deselect at any point in time, like let's say you do a selection that you don't want, Command D for deselect will just, ready? Boop, gone. So that way, that'll really help you out. So there we go. Boom, I've selected the H. We need a different layer for every letter in your name. So I only have 6. Shouldn't take me too long, but if you have like 10, it'll, just more steps for you to do. All right. What we want to do with these is we want to make a brand new layer. I'm going to go ahead down here to the bottom right of my layer window, and I'm going to hit this plus sign right here. Then I'll make a brand new layer. It's called layer 1. I'm going to double click on that, and I want to really just name it H for Hyrule, okay? I also recommend that you put this layer below the base name, this name one right here. Or no, you know what? I'm wrong, actually. I think you want it above it, yes. So there's H. We got to put something on this. So while we have this selected, I want you to go down here to your colors. It looks like mine have changed to like the gray and green. Your foreground color or your primary color, double click on that, whatever it is, and can you guys set it to black, just like a solid black. Go all the way down, black, and hit OK. The reason why we're going to do this is there's a really, really nice little like short key for this. If you hold down the Alt key on your keyboard, which is to the left of Command, and then you hit the Delete key, it'll paste a solid black or whatever you have the primary color of. If my primary color is green, it would have pasted green in here. Trust me when I say solid black will work the best for you coming up. So now we have our H layer completely set up and we're good to go. This is where you have to repeat this step for each letter. So reselect your name layer. Go ahead and deselect everything. You should have the Magic Wand tool selected because we didn't really use another tool because we hotkeyed our way through everything else. Go ahead and select your second letter. Make a new layer by clicking on the plus sign. Should be layer 1. Double tap that and rename it whatever your second letter is. Mine is Y. Okay. After you have that named, you're going to hit Alt Delete. Oh, I'm still typing. So after you hit Y, hit Enter. Then hit Alt Delete, and you'll see that it fills it with black. Command D to deselect. Go back to your name layer. Magic wand your third letter. Go down here, hit the plus sign for new layer. Rename it whatever letter it is. Mine is R, and then hit Enter. Once again, Alt, and then Delete. It'll fill that letter. Command D, deselect. I'm going back to my name, clicking on the letter U, plus sign to make the new layer. Layer 1, going to double tap that, rename that U, hit Enter. Alt, Delete, fill it in. Command D to deselect. We have to do this 2 more times. I have the name selected, grab the L, make a new layer, rename it to L, hit Enter, Alt, Delete, Command D to deselect, back to name one last time, grabbing the E, plus sign, rename, Alt, Delete, Command D. Perfect. Now you have this set up and you are literally ready for the very last step of your project. You're in really good shape right now, guys. So let's go ahead and file, save our Photoshop file. We didn't do anything to the Illustrator file, so you won't need to save that. All right, guys. Before you start this next and final part of the project, you better have your images locked in for what you're pasting into each letter. I need a total of 6 because I have 6 letters. If you have 8 letters, you will need 8 individual images. Get your research done. Our final video is coming up next. Take care.